No matter how many more of Hina's tears splashed his face, there was no second miracle. Reality set in again. This isn't some stereotypical fantasy world. Tears can't restore a person's vitality.
Honestly.
You have no tears, do you? No blood in your veins, no calcium in your bones. At least you have your meat. You want some clam chowder? You and I both.
Stop talking.
You're just angry. Going out of his way to return just to leave us with those unnecessary dying words. Now this game has become exceedingly boring. He said Yasuhiro, right?
Then
Yasuhiro Hagakure. That is the only person he could have been referring to.
So in other words...
And with that, the case is solved. Assaulting people and even killing Taka and Hifumi, and then going so far as to hide their bodies. A criminal that hides his face behind a mask and uses a bunch of giant wooden hammers. I'd love for you to come bother me more. Please do. Entertain me. Indulge me. Is that what Hiro is?
What is this?
If that's true, I can't forgive him. No way can I ever forgive him. To kill two of our friends? Anyway, it's about time we track down the culprit in our little life or death game here. Although, this time it's not all that life or death. The trial will conclude without much trouble.
Indeed.
Yes, it does look that way. It's going to begin again. We have to go through this one more time. I have to accept it. I have no choice but to go through with this to make sure everyone survives. I just have to do it. First, I'd better check the Monokuma file. The victims in Hifumi Yamada and Kiyotaka Ishimaru. The cause of death. Thank you for the gifted sub again. The cause of death for each was a blow to the head. Is it thought that they were both killed with a similar weapon? That's it?
Very strange.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. We got way less information this time than before. That is no problem. After all, the events of this case unfolded before our very eyes. We should know more about what happened than the Monokuma file could anyway. Maybe.
Well.
There's something else that's bothering me. Someone else has been missing for quite a while. Are you talking about Kyoko?
Perhaps.
Without a doubt, she has an alibi for when Celeste and Hifumi were attacked. But what if the killer wasn't acting alone? What if they had an accomplice? An accomplice? An accomplice? What are you doing here?
Monokuma!
Don't be rude. I'm here to answer your question. What question?
Yep.
You're talking about accomplices, right? I'm pretty sure I explained it before, didn't I? During the first class trial.
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer.
I mean, if Kyoko is the accomplice,
Each murder
and
is
is also
allowed
the
to
spy.
have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
In other words,
So basically, you can be an accomplice if you want, but there's no gratification in it.
so then.
So, are you saying nobody worked together this time either?
Hey!
Sorry, can't answer that. It would obstruct the free exchange of information between you guys. I just want to make sure you don't forget, no matter how much you might assist in a murder, only one blackened can graduate. An accomplice gets nothing.
So in other
Then we
words,
only need to figure out who that one blackened is that did the killing, right? Just like normal.
Well,
Okay. Let me take this opportunity to clarify the whole shebang. In this class trial, what you need to determine is the one true blackened who devised the murder plot and put it into action.
TV asked me, how does Melahdeedah hair smell? Oh, for goodness sake. How should I know how their hair smells? Do you think I go around sniffing people's hair? Ask something worth my time, you donkey.
That's hilarious. The true blackened, so just one person.
well now.
That's enough for explainifying. Now it's down to the final battle between all of you and the Blackened. Good luck to all the contestants. So there can only be one Blackened. An accomplice wouldn't benefit. Then I can't see any way Kyoko would be connected to this case after all. You may be right. If that's true, then Kyoko, where are you?
However,
As long as she's not connected to the case, it doesn't matter. Let's get back to the investigation. Who has the laptop, though?
Indeed.
I have absolutely no doubt that Hiro is responsible. But for the time being, I suppose it can't hurt to pursue further information.
So,
You know, you don't think we should consider a certain someone a suspect just in case? I'm talking about the murderous fiend genocide Jack.
What?
I'm offended. When did you... I've been looking all over for you, Master. When I woke up, you were nowhere to be found. Anyway, you there. Milk sack swimmer girl.
Huh?
Milk sack?
You gotta be kidding!
Why do I gotta be a suspect?
What the heck?
Well, I mean, you are a serial killer. So what? I'm like a special guest suspect every time? I have an alibi, you know. She's right about that. When we heard Hifumi scream, she was with me. And when the bodies disappeared, she was still lying unconscious in the equipment room. Plus, Taka's body aside, I can't imagine any way she would have been able to move Hifumi's body.
Yep.
Besides, I calculate every move I make. I'm not gonna kill someone when everyone knows what I look like. They don't call me the murderous fiend for nothing.
What are you saying?
That's not the kind of thing you should be bragging about.
Let's see.
On another topic, should we post a guard by the bodies like before? We can't have them disappearing again.
so then.
Hina and I can handle that. You don't mind, do you, Hina? Sure, I'd be totally useless on the investigation anyway.
It's all clear now.
Then that's that. Let's begin. Alright, this whole thing is so strange. All but one of us has an alibi, so figuring out who did it should be obvious, right? But maybe it's just me, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as it seems. Monokuma file has been added to the section of my handbook. Alright. There are hammers of all different sizes hanging on the wall, although some are more like mallets. Mallets? Could the Justice hammers have been designed using these as a model? Either way, all the hammers here have obviously seen a lot of use. They're all covered in debris and chalky stone powder. Wait, for some reason, this one hammer isn't dirty at all, and it's wet. Did someone wash it recently? Spotless hammer has been added to my handbook. Nice. Anything else around here, maybe? Let's take a look at big ol' Hifumi. Hifumi's big cold body is laying on the floor. His really big body. I mean, how on earth was the killer able to move someone so big? From the nurse's office where he was discovered to here, the repository? All the way from the first floor to the third floor, and all without anyone noticing it. How the hell? It's no good, I just don't get it. I can think about it later. For now, I have to finish investigating Hifumi himself. If I remember correctly, Hifumi's fatal injury was also a blow to the head. Probably from Justice Hammer 3, which was laying on the floor in the nurse's office. Huh, wait. Something's off about his body. Why am I getting this feeling something's different? Something about Hifumi's body in the nurse's office versus his body right now. That's it. His glasses. That's right. When his body was in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But now they're completely clean. Interesting. Does this mean someone wiped his glasses off? But who would do that and why? Really weird. Taka, he'll never move again. According to the Monokuma file, Taka died from a blow to the head. We found Justice Hammer 4 near his body in the equipment room. Is that what was used to kill him? There's a tarp laid out under his body. Did the killer use this to move Taka's body? By the way, there wouldn't be any blood left behind while the blood was moved. Oh, that way there wouldn't be any blood while the blood was moved. You get what I mean. Blue tarp has been added to the bullets. Okay. Byakuya, do you think Hiro really did it? I don't see how anyone else could think otherwise. When the attacks and murders and disappearances all happened, every one of us had an alibi. And the last thing Fumi said when he died, yeah, he said Hiro's name.
So, in other words,
And there's no room to suspect anyone else. Okay, but if he did do it, why would he hide his identity with that weird costume? Maybe he thought that no matter what happened, he'd be safe as long as his face was covered. Because he's the fool of the century, you see. I mean, he is kinda dumb. But do you really think that's enough to explain it? I feel like there's a clue hiding in there somewhere.
what?
And is that it? That's all that bothers you about the case? Oh no, there are a few other things. Like, why did the killer try to hide the bodies? They probably figured that if we couldn't find the bodies, we couldn't complete our investigation. But if that's the case, we found the bodies pretty easily, didn't we? Again, it comes back to the fact that the culprit was a moron. Is that really all there is to it? The other thing that bothers me is, why'd they bother killing 2 people?
What?
Because all the rule says is, if you can kill someone and get away with it, you graduate, right? So if you're the killer, your number one priority is not getting caught. But killing 2 people means more clues, more chances you'll get found out.
I see.
Hold on. Perhaps. I see. So that's what that means. Is everything okay?
That's enough.
Don't talk to me as if we're friends. Huh? What's with the attitude? But you have my appreciation.
Goodbye.
Thanks to you, I might have found some fun with this after all.
What do you call it when a hotel mattress is ruined from too much vacation sex? Spring break.
His mysterious words hung in the air as he left the repository. He talked as if he'd figured something out. But if he did, would it have killed him to tell me what it was? There are many suspects to the incident this time. Too many, to be honest. Or aspects, not suspects. Considering that, it may be good to look back on everything that's happened.
So then.
Would you like my help? Sure. Yeah, let's look back on things. This morning, only 4 of us met up at the dining hall. Hina, Kyoko, you, and myself. We waited for the others, but nobody showed up. So we decided to go look for them. It was around 8 o'clock when we began our search. And soon after we split up, Kyoko disappeared. After that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room on the 3rd floor, and quickly came and got you and me. According to Celeste, she was attacked by a suspicious individual and lay unconscious for about an hour. Do I get to kiss ass in this game? No, not really. I don't think so, at least. Yeah, I guess by giving gifts. In other words, she was attacked an hour before we found her. Kick ass? No. I didn't read kick. I saw kiss, not kick ass. I mean, I get to solve mysteries and watch people get murdered. Meaning just after 7 o'clock. Based on the picture Celeste took, we discovered her attacker was dressed in a strange costume. It was Robo Justice. It also became clear that this Robo Justice had dragged Hifumi away. After meeting up with Toko and Byakuya, we began searching for the costumed assailant. We found an injured Hifumi in the library on the 2nd floor. We took him down to the nurse's office on the 1st floor, then resumed our search. Not long after leaving the nurse's office... Maybe Celeste is the murderer. What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs. Maybe like an accomplice? Based on Celeste's claim, we went back up to the 2nd floor where we split up and began searching. And right after that, Celeste screamed. This time, she had apparently seen the suspect on the 3rd floor. I never date. I never go on dates. Psh. Hearing her screams, we quickly made our way to the 3rd floor. Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so I headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. And then... Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been. Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back. At that point, we decided to split up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office. Meanwhile, you, Byakuya, and Toko pursued the suspect on the 3rd floor. And when we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi's corpse. Which is also when we heard the Body Discover announcement play. I left Celeste and Hina alone and headed back to the 3rd floor to tell the others what had happened.
However,
But at that same time, we had discovered Taka's body in the equipment room, which means Hifumi and Taka's bodies were discovered right around the same time. Because I remember hearing the Body Discovery announcement play right after finding Taka. I don't. And that's when I showed up and told you about Byakuya that Hifumi had been killed, right? Then you, me, and Byakuya all headed back to the nurse's office, leaving behind Toko, who had fainted. But as soon as we left the safe physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who had just arrived to tell us something very unusual. Hifumi's body has disappeared. We hurried back to the nurse's office to discover that his corpse was in fact gone. Then we remembered we had abandoned the unconscious Toko and rushed back to the equipment room. This can't be happening. We are all hallucinating or all this or something. This time, Taka's body had disappeared. So from there, we began our search for both the missing bodies, and after some time, Celeste told us she found the bodies, and we'd all headed to the repository. There, we rediscovered the 2 bodies that had apparently vanished. But the door was locked. And Celeste is the one who figured out how to unlock it. I'm concerned. And that brings us up to now.
however,
Looking back, things have certainly been very active. If you want to look back at the case again, just let me know. No. Thank you very much, though. You good, Hina?
So,
Makoto, I've been thinking about something. It's about the repository. What is it? After Hifumi and Taka's bodies disappeared, we split up to look around, right? I was really scared, so me and Sakura stuck together.
but
And we came right to the repository to, look around. But when we got here, the repository was locked. We couldn't get inside. It was locked? Yes, it was locked. We fucking tried to open it. And we came here as soon as the search started, so there's no way someone could have beat us here. So if that's true, then who locked it? And why is it unlocked now? I wonder the same thing. The door was locked when the search for the bodies began, but now it's wide open. There must be some secret lurking in there, but I'll probably have to leave this area to figure it out. Why is that not a clue? There's only one way in and out of this room. Through the door that Hina said was locked before. There's definitely a lock on the door, but it can only be locked from inside the repository. I don't see any way to lock it from the art room. The door can only be locked from inside the repository, which makes me wonder. Hina and Sakura confirmed the door was locked after we started looking for the missing bodies. In other words, when Hina checked in, someone had already gone in the repository and locked the door. When they were done, they unlocked it and left, which is why it's unlocked now. But Hina claims that there's no way someone could have beaten them to the repository. Maybe there's a door in here. So that certain someone? I feel like there must be like a door. There's gotta be something hidden somewhere. It's a dolly. It doesn't have a handle. I saw this in the art room before. I guess it's used to move statues around. It's kind of awkward. But if you bend down, it's not too hard to use. But wait. Wasn't this in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? Is that the dolly over there? I thought it was a skateboard. And look at the wheel. There's a blood stain on it. So there's blood on the wheel of the equipment that was moved from the equipment room to the repository. What's the explanation for that? Cool. There's got to be a clue around here somewhere. Maybe I should check somewhere else. There are some places I already know about. Okay, we got the nurse's office, the equipment room. I feel like there's a fucking door in here. Like a hidden door. Pretty sure of it. to the physics lab.